Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Gregtech Community Edition Modern. Last time, we ended up getting ourselves set for some pretty cool things. We first grabbed ourselves a new blast furnace. Let's go ahead and go do a quick recap over here. So you got this new blast furnace up and running. This thing will allow us to do alloys, so skipping the mixer recipe and doing the blast furnace part at the same time. It's pretty sweet considering that is something that we do need to make sure that we do. I just realized something. I forgot. I turned this down earlier because I was listening to something. So now we can actually hear the game too. But with that, I did set up a brand new turbine. I just have not wired it up yet. Now, I don't think I'll be using that for the specific thing that I'm working on right now, but we will see. The first thing I want to get into, we need to make some radon. And so the quickest way for me to do that is in a large chemical reactor, which we've already assembled one over here that I just have to wire up for power, because this is going to be used for Epichlorhydrin here in a bit. But we can always take some of the power off of it right now and do something with it in the meantime. So it looks like currently we are only using this for 2 power, so we can actually wire the power on over from this side to get it right where we need it, right here. So just get it right there. Oh, I guess we already have it where we need to there. We just got to clip it in place. Okay, so that should be getting power. And now we just need ourselves to get some air. So I'll have to go grab some from the machines back at base. Because we only need, I believe, 2 of these. Because we need to get ourselves these quantum eyes. So we need 4. I think we need technically 3 crafts. So let's go get what we need back over here. We do have ourselves a stainless steel pouch. We need our gas collector. Let's grab out 20 that's there. We'll let it do its thing. And while that's gathering some more air for us to be able to pick up, I guess there's a 3rd one that we need. We got 4. So now we're going to need a few other things. So the first thing we're going to need is some plutonium. So we're going to go ahead and grab out enough for 4 crafts, and we'll smelt that up. Then the last part that we need is uranium dust, and I don't know if this is the right one. Is this... Oh, why do I still have this getting produced? Is this going to the wrong place still? I don't know if I had any left over. But these aren't really useful, unfortunately. That's one of the problems that I kind of have with that. So now we can take all of these, and I think what we'll do, we'll just clog it up when it does it. So we can pop it straight in there, let it do its thing, and then it should... Did it go into a chest? Where'd it go? Oh, it went up to the case up there. So now we've got some plutonium ingots. Did I touch a pipe? Oh, I touched a pipe there. And we can take it. Oh, we got a minor problem. I need some more. I need another input bus. So put those in there. I should be able to just grab. I should have an LV input bus. But this is the only thing we need this way. We do need some Eye of Enders, though. So let's go ahead and get some of those crafted up. I think I was thinking about it. We need... How many of them do we need? We're going to quantum link chambers. So I was kind of trying to hide that, but we need 1 craft here. And then we need 8 crafts, so 9 ender eyes. Just do 10 for good measure, and we are out of sugarcane, so let's go Snatch up a bunch of that. I still need to set up an automatic Minecraft farm for this. Like, why use power when pistons work great? I know it's nice to use power because it's Gregtech, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Is my motto. Especially since I can set this up to just like not overproduce into an area. We should be able to do the full 10 of it now. There we go. And we needed ourselves a new input bus. Let's go ahead and just grab the LV one, because that's easy enough to fix with that. And boom. Put in our plutonium and our uranium. And I don't remember if it needed a number. We just need the air, it looks like. It just had to be HV. So let's go ahead and put the air down here. And needs maintenance. Let's see if this actually works. If it works with actually having multiple inputs like that, it's kind of crazy. It's like interesting testing ideas. Maintenance fine. Insufficient output for items. Oh, it creates a thing, so I need a output. Something else I didn't grab of because it didn't need it for the other one, so there's our eye vendor already. Now the only question is, with the quantum eye, we can do a chemical bath of the HV variety, so we're good there. Output, I'll just go ahead and grab one that's ready. I want the rings up because it's going to be nicer to have access to our current system through that. There we go. And we get one more, and how long does that take? Well, that's a long time. Okay, in the meantime, I guess we can get the other thing ready that we need. So, I just don't know how these quantum leaks work, so let's look at that really quick. Because I know that they do this. Do we need to power both ends is the only problem. I think I need all of the stuff over here on the other one. An extended network over infinite distance and between dimensions. Okay, yes. They must be chunk loaded. They will be. One of the blocks surrounded by the quantum ring will create a quantum network bridge. This block doesn't connect to any cables and only registers as part of the network with a full bridge. Part of the network with the full bridge is made. This block's inventory can only hold a single quantum entangled singularity and is automation accessible. So what do we need for that? We need a singularity and some endopearl dust. Okay. How do we make ourselves a singularity? Oh boy, a matter condenser? And a 64, okay. So how do we make a matter condenser? Oh, that's easy. We can go do that while we wait for this. Did we get through a single craft yet? Nope. So yeah, we'll let that go. Let me go make ourselves a matter condenser. So all of those parts are super easy. I think the only problem is we might want to make sure we got some stainless steel. don't think I have any more dust put away. Just want to make sure we do have some dust put away. Start the auto crafting of that, because we were running low the last time I looked at it. That'll take a second to get through, and then we need to make this. I don't know what the difference is between either of those being there. So let's look at the recipes for each one. So yeah, that requires those. We can basically make all of those. Don't have any more of these, but what do these take? Did we actually auto-craft that? I'm pretty sure we could auto-craft this if we wanted to. So do that. Do we have any Certus quartz? We do not. So we'll just have to make sure we got plates. There's one. And then the use for that gives us that one. There's two. And then the use for that gives us the 16, I believe. Oh. Messed that up already. And we'll need another pattern processor. Or not pattern processor, but the parts that go there. I guess the only other question is this can be done in HV. It doesn't require a thing, so we could put it in literally any one of these. So let's start 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll put the last one into a completely separate spot. So we need ourselves some Certus quartz. Just wanted to stack, make a bunch of plates. How do I make the plates again? Okay, so we can make them that way. Can I do them in this cutter? Yes, but it takes forever. So let's go make that last pattern. We'll take it downstairs. Yeah, that can go while we make the pattern. Oh boy, I still can't get over how much fun the jetpack is. Put those there, and there is that. So we need to get to making one of those. So I have to see if we can actually do it. I'm pretty sure we'll actually be okay to. There is our last spot. I think the only thing we might be short on, I have already prepped up, which is the circuit boards. Let's do a component, and we say, like those. We want one, we need 6 more plates, and then we have everything else. So let's make sure we make that matter condenser before we end up taking that stuff out by accident. And then we'll go ahead and make our 64-bit storage component. Now the last thing, I'm not sure how this works exactly, is it says we just stick the component in. So now the question is, if I hook it up, do I just dump junk into it? Does it need to be powered as well? Because it doesn't seem like it needs to be powered. So here, what if I come down here and we go downstairs? I just go like this. What happens if I dump? Oh, we still need a storage component. Silly me. How fast does this stuff go through? Oh, we got way more stuff to craft up, so it's gonna be a second. guess we go dump off our air, and I will be back when that is done. Okay, I know I said I'd be back when that other thing is done, but I realized I got some of my radon gas done. So we can start crafting our quantum eyes, which are going to take quite a few seconds, because those also take 24 seconds apiece. Figured I'd show that that was started. I think we're actually almost done with the component at this point, too. Yep. Currently crafting that last part. And it's actually quite possible it's stuck. It is not, so we're good. So if we put that there. So if I just... Let's actually pick it up and go downstairs with it, because we got a place we can use that at. I know it's going to be a racket down here, but... Matter condenser. And that. Let us see, right there. So we want to bring it over here. Okay, and then if we break it, it's gonna freak out. Yeah, so we're gonna have a little while to go here. But I'm pretty sure I can go ahead and go grab an item pipe. I made actually some really nice polyvinyl chloride pipes. So if I make ourselves an HV module, we can pull out those polyvinyl chloride pipes and dump items like mad in there, hopefully. And make that singularity roughly quick. I mean, looking at it, it looks like we would have enough. Singularity is a compact ball of matter made with... Yeah, we have probably way more than enough. I mean, if not, we can supplement it with some other items. But 250,000 items dumped into it to make a singularity. And then it says we need to do an explosive force next to it to be able to actually activate it. Should almost be done. There we go. And we can just start letting this get stuffed like mad. Full of... Yeah, it looks like we don't have quite enough dust. But... is it going up? That's what matters. It is. Oh, and it's saying even more items than that. I don't know if we have enough junk items to go in there. Because even like 8 million is only 8,000. So it's saying... I wonder if that's because the storage component that we have on there, it needs that many. I don't know what other stuff we could actually start getting rid of some of. So yeah, that looks like it's going to be one of those things that's going to take a lot longer than I expected. Especially considering we're running out of ores and I'm going to have to place that somewhere to get more dust. Luckily we've got plenty of dust over here in the mixer for this, so I don't have to worry about the ore fluid. It looks like this attempt might end up going a little bit longer before we finish the quantum rings. That is far longer than I expected it to need to be. Although we do need a bucket of this stuff to pass a quest, so let's do that. We can go back on over, dump this in the chemical bath to allow it to finish. guess we're going to have to go to the original route that I was going to use to do the other part of this episode. As currently there is no other way for me to complete it. So, we've got ourselves our phenol. We've got ourselves the other part, the acetone. We just need epichlorhydrin. Now it's wanting us to use the propene route, which is perfectly fine. The only other part that we need if we do that, I had it pulled up and forgot to save it. Epichlorhydrin, say it right. The only other part that we needed is the sodium hydroxide dust, which I have that as well, so I just need to pipe that over somehow. Which is why I kind of wanted to be able to use that. Is the other, the large chemical reactor over there is the one I was going to use to make the epichlorhydrin, and then we use the electrolyzer to get most of our chlorine back, and we'll just have to pump over 1 bucket of chlorine and put the water on with our propene, which I think I have some ender. I do. Let's grab the ender fluid links out, and we'll probably do something where it's not a fully recycled process just yet, as I don't want to start running out of materials until I can get it on something where I can have it auto-craft until a certain amount of items have been crafted and then stop it there. So we do need to get ourselves some of the sodium hydroxide. There we go on that. I think the last part is to make sure that we get our propene over, which I don't think I'm making any over here. I think the only thing I've got to drag over was... I guess I actually don't need anything from over here just yet. I will need to drag over the acetone and... Yeah, I think what we're just going to do is we're going to grab ourselves a stainless steel container worth of the chlorine. Do I have a barrel? I have a barrel. We'll do that. I guess we still want the stainless steel so we can refill the barrel and get a bit more. So all that stuff should be done over here. Which means that we should then be able to take out the stuff I don't want on there. Yes, so there is that. Go ahead and click down, grab the bucket out. We don't need the output now, so we're going to pick that up. We're going to replace it with this. We're going to pick this one up because we don't need the dual inputs. We only need the one, and I don't want to be using extra stuff that we don't need. And we'll put the sodium hydroxide in. We need ourselves the chlorine, which... don't know if this will work. We can see it does. Nice. We need water. And then we need to pipe over some propene. So now the question is, do I have enough space to get over there if I pipe out the back? I think the answer is yes. Although we can also take a look at this. Let's actually just use the containers for now, because as soon as I can get those quantum links up and running, I would much rather be using the quantum links to get stuff floated over where we need it. So now the last thing we need is, I believe it is on an input, we need 23. Doesn't look right, apparently. We got water. We got propene. We got chlorine. 23. Sodium. Insufficient fluid. Oh, we gotta unlock this. That's why. So that will give us And I want this one to be where the... Okay, it went to the right one. So I want the salt water here, I want the hydrofluoric acid here, and I want the epichlorhydrin over here. Now, I am going to say, let's go ahead and fill this bucket back up. We got water, we got propane. We need acid-resistant pipes, which it looks like we're actually out over here, aren't we? We are. So let me go grab some of those. And then we also want a void, so let's make sure that's started to process. A fluid void. Fluid voiding cup over. And then we need the polytetrafluoroethylene. Tetrafluoroethylene. I'll get a stack of those because I don't think I have... Or I guess I have some. That means that we should craft more up anyways. As some isn't enough for a lot. And that should be plenty for our purposes. And now we can take that. We can plop down our electrolyzer. And this can come out. I want to pop down the electrolyzer right over here. Wire it up right here in the back, and then we can wire directly back into the other end over here after that's done. So there's the electrolyzer. We're going to have it come out over here. We need to get some fluid things first, though, or fluid filters. But we can go ahead and wrench this one together and this one together, because we do want it to go ahead and tear everything apart. Should be able to empty the rest of our chlorine here. Yes, we're waiting on a little bit more propane. Which actually begs the question, we might want to actually switch it so that our chlorine goes in the back here. Should be able to put more propane in there. Have it do its thing, maybe? What's the issue? Oh, the epichlorhydrin is full. That's what the issue is. Let's pull it out. And we'll put a tank on that once we're done. But there is that going. We just need some fluid filters to finish the setup. Fluid filters. Filter. So let's craft another 8 more. And 2 fluid filters. One of them will say chlorine. And the other one will say not chlorine, since we're not going to be using any of the other stuff. So this one will say not chlorine. We will do the fluid void, and we will void not chlorine, and then we only want the chlorine coming out that end, and then we can hook that back up. And the awesome part is we can actually hook up the output at the top here, as the output of it will also give us the sodium hydroxide that is needed in the recipe. So the only thing we will have to do is we'll have to bring in the occasional amount of chlorine. Why is that not? Oh, extract. There we go. So we'll only have to bring in the occasional amount of chlorine and propene, because we do lose 1 chlorine from the processing. And that should fully cycle through the system now for a little bit once we pull out another one and get our tank going on. I think we still do want another 2 of the ender fluid things, and we can do the last part of it. Ender fluid links. Let's get those going. So now with the epichlorhydrin, we can make ourselves liquid epoxy. To make that, we've got basically 2 recipes. And it looks like the one that we're going to be using most likely as we could get this one, but doing it all in one step seems like a much better bargain. Oh no, we want usage. We get epoxy and we get the diluted hydrochloric acid. So that basically means that for each craft that we do, we'll get back our sodium hydroxide that we need. And we can actually make a second... We get all of our hydrochloric acid back. Is that right? I don't think so. Something seems a little bit off. So we'll get half... So we'll actually end up making some. That's crazy. Because that's half. And this we can separate and then make into hydrochloric acid, and we'll have extra stuff because we'll have this. Yeah. Wow. Because then we can mix those 2 together and make hydrochloric acid, right? Yeah. Nice. So we will need another large reactor, 4 inputs, which, to be honest, making them separate inputs is easier to keep track of than making them all 1 input, as well as it saves on materials, because we only need to put the lowest version of them on there. So let's go ahead and grab the input. And I will craft up what I need of those. We'll be back once that's done. Alright, so we're back. I got myself a tank down to store that. This is still running pretty smoothly. We just need to keep refilling it with propane until we get ourselves a little bit of a barrel backup or something. As I don't want a huge backup of chlorine to be pumped over here all the time. But almost got this second reactor up and running. Just need to set it all, or do the maintenance on it really quick is what it is. Maintenance is done. Let's throw everything back away. I guess I will have to pull out my wrench again, because we will need that. I did forget some pipes. Now we just need to look at our recipes really quick. So this is the recipe I want to be using. So we're going to go ahead and favorite this one. We need more sodium hydroxide. We need phenol and acetone. And then we need hydrochloric acid. So on this one, we want our phenol in 1, which I have set up both a phenol and an acetone. It should already have been set up previously. Hydrochloric acid, we got steam, mercury, refinery gas, acetone right there. So now we've got both of those. We just need to pipe this over, which I forgot to grab a pipe as well. And then we will need our cells. Let's actually switch these two here. Because then I can shoot this straight across. This can go right into here for the hydrochloric acid. And actually, I'll have to look at some stuff. Because you kind of get 3 back in total. Or not 3, 1.5. But you only need 1 thing of hydrochloric acid. So let's grab out some vials, because I don't want to be taking a ton of the hydrochloric acid over right now. I want to be able to have just enough. Oh, that's not the right place. They're over here somewhere, I think. No? Right there. So now we need our hydrochloric acid. Right there. We'll grab all 8. Guess you can't shift click in this system. And then we need some more pipes. Epichlorhydrin I don't think has a higher temp, so we can do our regular polyethylene. I'd like to do those just because they're technically the cheapest item I've got. Considering they're practically free at this point. And then, of course, I forgot the last component. So that is the sodium hydroxide, which is right there. Once again, can we grab it? There we go. And so this is the thing, is we'll be able to get the sodium hydroxide back. So we actually do need to set up those outputs the way that we want it. Because this will give us, if we put the salt water up there, we'll get our sodium hydroxide back. And then the other one can go straight across as well after getting diluted. Now the last thing we need is this one also requires, I believe, 23. Is that right? 24. 24. And then we will get our first little stash of epoxy. And oh my goodness, that's a much faster recipe than that one is over there. And so we already got ourselves 8K of that. We will have to probably refine this over, and that means that this does not get recycled cleanly. However, I think what we're going to want to do, yeah, so we're going to take all of this out. We're going to move this down 1 block. Because I can have this distilled if I go across this way. And then this one up top with the salt water, I can have it electrolyzed, have the output, it is the item, go back up here, and then chemical react the 2 outputs of it and have the hydrochloric acid go back in there, and I'll get the 1 item that I need per thing, whereas this is only going to produce half. So I'm almost wondering if that might be better to shove back into the chlorine over here to help prolong the use of chlorine through this. But that will definitely take some time. Looks like we're again just out of propane. But this setup is exactly what we needed to. Now this is exactly why I do want to eventually get a setup over here with the ME system, because you don't need all the fluid filters, because all of the ME system stuff will do it for you. But now that we've got our epoxy, we can grab out a bucket of that, and maybe? Did I not get the bucket of epichlorhydrin? Oh, it wants us to make the sheet for that quest. So I guess we'll wait on that, but we do need to get the bucket of this to finish that quest, and now that unlocks that. Now next time we'll actually get into making the circuits, make things way more efficient once again. And I want to thank you guys for watching. You guys have a wonderful day, and please subscribe and leave a comment if you're up for it. Thank you very much, and bye!